Well, that being said, hey everybody, it's Shoddy. Ramus
Welcome
is on the other end. What's up, buddy?
Not much. Just working on our topic for the day.
Yeah, we got some fun for the show today, I think.
Yep. So today's topic is the wish list.
Yeah, and by the way, we have multiple wish lists. We have an actual game wish list, and we also, by suggestion from one of our viewers, to set up an actual Amazon wish list. So we have one. Just look for Running Deep with Shotty and Ramius. You'll be able to find it. Hopefully, if you know what you're looking for as far as the wish list and how to find it, you can find it because I'm having a hard time trying to find it. I pull it up on my phone. It's there. I go to search for it like I don't have an account set up, and it wants to run me all over the place. So, oh, hold on. What the hell is this? Oh, I'll be damn. I found it.
Great.
I looked in I didn't find ours. I just looked in the wrong damn area to find a wish list. Not your. I don't want my account, nor do I want my. I want to find a wish list. Anyways, so if y'all know how to find a wish list, please, 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 help out me and Ramius to boost the podcast. Pretty much, we are wanting to bring a better product to you. Whether it be new microphones, new mixer, just better equipment all the way around. We're trying to bring something better to you guys as fast as possible. Unfortunately, we don't have the cash on hand, so to speak, to be able to upgrade our products and do things for you guys that we would like to. So we really need help from you, our viewers, our listeners, to help us get going. We also accept donations and everything else as far as if you want to get the product. A lot of you folks know how a wish list works. I'll explain it to you. We're going to put a list of items that we'd like to have as far as making the product better for you guys, whether it be microphones, mixer, some sort of green screen material, webcams, because eventually we would like to try to get into the video side of things. There is a bit of a challenge. There's a challenge involved, and we're going to get there. But what it is, there's a challenge involved with the video side of things. It's the fact that he lives in one part of the country, I live in another part of the country. So trying to get our mugs together on the same one is difficult for our level. We're going to eventually get there. So once we figure that all out and we get all the details worked out, then you could potentially see our bright smiling faces or our ugly mugs, depending on how you view things. So there's that. But other than that, so again, Amazon wishlist, we have one set up. Look for the Running Deep with Shotty and Ramius podcast. You'll be able to see our logo on there, and we hope to hopefully be able to utilize that. We're going to add more stuff to it. Right now, there's only one piece of equipment on there. It's a mixer that would just absolutely do wonders on my side of things, considering I handle all the recordings and everything else. At least, bringing everything in, adjusting levels, stuff like that. It would make my life a whole lot easier to have this. So if anybody's listening out there that has the capability or ability to donate to us, that would be wonderful. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and kick off into the show here. As Rami has said, and we both kind of talked about prior to, we have a wish list as far as the game goes. So
yeah, we've been blessed with a couple of updates from Scopely in the last month or so. Some of those have been well received. The warp stop, recalls, all that kind of fun stuff. It's been great. So that has definitely helped life. But we all know there are some places where we could improve. And so one way to do that is to get some community support. Scopely's been really good about listening to the requests of the public and building those things into the game. And so we're just throwing some things out there. Some of these things are unique to us. The rest of them come from various sources, whether they're individuals. There's a couple that I have posted in the content creator Discord. But let's throw these out here, see what you guys think, give us some feedback. So,
all right.
The most common one is the first, and that's the ability to move servers or have friends join the server. I've seen a lot of people making that request. I've heard lots of stories about why they didn't want that, so people didn't have multiple accounts on the same server and such as that. But that's the most common.
Yeah, and honestly, I've got friends that are on other servers that I would absolutely love to have them join our server and kind of join our merry band of misfits because, you know, we want to be the jolliest bunch of assholes on this side of the nut house. Yeah, I know it came after Christmas. It was funny, but whatever. It worked.
Yeah.
But I have my moments. But now, like I said, that was one of the things that I would love to have. I want to be able to bring some of my friends that are playing the game over to our server, which would be really cool. Or my friends that want to start playing the game, and then they can say, "Oh, well, I want to be able to move to this server. I want to go to this server," and they can take everything with them as they go. Now, I actually had a game that I played before, and had to start over. Every time a new world would open up, we'd start over, you know, fresh base, acquire other bases, and so on and so forth. Again, like I said, no free ads, no name drops to this other game, but it was something that I enjoyed. So I think in order to be able to do something like that, you couldn't just hop around server to server to server to take resources and everything with you. So kind of once you launch into a server and then you move to whatever server that you're wanting to be on, if there's any availability for access, as far as it's not totally full, then you know, it's nice to have.
Right. Well, and plus being able to keep friends and whatnot together would be helpful.
Right.
The next one on the list is blueprint changes. So the recommendation was if a ship's been researched and the blueprints are obtained, allow them to be available for multiple builds. So, for example, if you've researched the Horizon and you've been able to get the blueprints for it, now you should be able to construct more, such as do a second, third, fourth, whatever, rather than going out and having to go hunt more blueprints in this futuristic digital world where they should be in the computer. So that would be nice. Possibly do blueprint tokens instead of blueprints for a specific ship, where you can get those tokens from killing hostiles and then cash them in for blueprints, kind of the same way you do with our faction store right now.
Yeah, I was actually thinking about that because I know we had talked about it before. Even so much as far as, say, if you have so many blueprints of one particular ship, the value of it, you could actually take, say you have 150 envoy blueprints, and the value of those blueprints, say, of the 150 that you have. You can put those 150 and pull 15 Sally blueprints, or maybe, you know, with just, and I'm throwing an arbitrary number, so 15 blueprints may be a little rich to cough up 150. But then again, what are you going to do with? I mean, what, the envoys? 50 of them, whatever.
30 to build an envoy.
So 30 to build an envoy, you're talking
34.
Yeah. So you're talking a massive amount of envoys that you're either going to sit there, build them up, and then scrap them, or take those 130 freaking blueprints that you've got, 150 blueprints that you've got, and run it over there, and it'll condense it down into 5, 10, 15, whatever a balanced number for a Sally would be, or like Rami has said, take them and turn them into the faction store, but have the availability in the faction store that they don't have to be happy with you in the faction store. You can just turn it in for a ship that you want. But then on the other side of the coin, you have those of us that we're only running one faction, single faction. Some folks are running dual faction. There are some very rare ones that are running triple faction. So you have the accessibility and availability to run in and turn in whatever faction credits you've got to get those ships. But the only way you can get them is to be consort or friendly or what have you. To access those. So there's got to be a balance there where that can be done. I don't really foresee. If you think about it, you're taking credits over to the village that hates you so much, and they're like, yeah, we're not giving you crap, other than a couple rocks and some arrows. You're not going to go over there and go, hey, take these credits, can I have this? They're like, no, you're not going to have it. Hence, same thing with the factions. If the faction is pissed off at you, you're really not going to have a good opportunity to get their product. So you have to kind of balance. Well, I really want this Burrell, or I really want this Centurion, or I really want this the Enterprise. I've got to get my faction straightened out before I can actually get that without having to spend money to get it. So I say it's just one of those things, is trying to figure out how to get all these credits, because I'm sitting on 130 envoy credits and 200 on this other ship and what have you. It just gets kind of annoying to have to build those ships and tear them down for scrap. It just takes forever.
Right. I've got 138 hero blueprints right now that are absolutely useless.
Good Lord. Well, yeah,
just the other day I got a bunch of Tala blueprints. So it's like, what am I going to do with that? I mean, I've got 53 Tala blueprints already, and you only need 40 to build a ship. But what is a level 30 going to do with a Tala?
Right. It's all that Tala is a wobbly table spacer, so it stops wobbling.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, hell, even at 26, it's still a wreck pain in the butt, because it's like, I'm not going to sit there and build that ship. I'm not going to use it. Why should I have to keep these? Not only that, but I don't know about everybody else, but to look at my game screen and see alerts or icons going, hey, you have X amount in here, that drives me nuts. I don't know if it's OCD. I don't know.
I'm the same way. I have to keep hiding mine too because of the same problems.
So I'm sitting there going, son of a bitch, can't do anything about it. So, I've got 99 Fendra, 270 Taurus, 271 Tala prints, 261 Envoy prints, 224 Kira, 121 Vaklas. I can build 2 more Vaklas. I don't need an extra one.
Exactly.
The Kumari starting to pick up. I got 45 out of 60 there. There's just so much. Now I can understand a Horizon, or I can understand at early levels, which is the wise thing to do, build multiple miners of your level. So if you just pick up your Horizon, but you're sitting on 3 envoys, tear down one of your envoys. Hell, tear down 2 of them and keep
scrapyard.
Yeah, use a scrapyard. Keep an extra envoy until you make it to your second Horizon, and then once you finally get to the next level up, where you're dealing with an Antares or whatever faction miner that you're wanting to run, you have accessibility to those. That you build 2 or 3 of those, so that you have a fleet of miners. So like I said, I understand building the extra ones for now, but there should be an option to just completely trade those in for either faction credits or some sort of BP for your ships or something of that nature. I mean, they're really, there's got to be a better use than sitting here with a crap load of blueprints that you're really not using.
Right. So moving on down the list, the next one is Below Decks Minor Crew. So we've got a lot of synergies with the combat crews and station defense, but we really don't have much that does support either resource mining, things like that. Now, with the leak of the new upcoming officers, it looks like there's some of that coming. So fingers crossed that that'll come through.
Well, and
But
that's
we'd love to see that happen a little bit earlier on.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And that's one of the other things that I had is the synergy works great because if you have a crew, so you've got the Enterprise crew, you've got Nero's crew, you've got Khan's crew, the synergy is only good for the folks that are on the bridge, and that's it. So what's the point of running everybody in it? Well, for one, what's the point of having a complete crew, all of Nero's crew on one ship? Whenever you pick the two strongest ones that have the best synergy and you put them on your bridge, and then you fill it in with high health in your below deck. To me, I think that's kind of worthless to have more than 3 people in a crew, especially because of the synergy.
I think that the folks that really research the officers would disagree with that because there's some benefits to having a full synergy crew.
Well, but the thing is,
I'm not skilled enough in it to know, but it's something I could research more. But I think there's some benefit to it, but we just need to have a little bit more clarity to it.
Well, no, I agree with you on that one. I'm not saying that having a full synergy crew is a bad thing. I think it's great, but I want to be able to have full synergy. So if there's 6 folks that belong to a specific crew or 7 folks that belong to a specific crew, I want that synergy below deck to go up to the upper deck. Because if you think about it, the only time synergy ever shows up is when you're looking at your officers is between the left chair and the right chair and the captain's chair. There's no synergy from below decks up to the bridge, which in reality should be synergy from below decks to the bridge. I believe that will be a wise decision to do that. So you would literally have, as they say, full synergy from the whole crew versus, all right, well, I've got Nero and I've got Vela and I've got this particular one. And so I'm just pulling crew members out. Right. I can only have synergy between those 3, but I also have 3 or 4 other crew members that are below deck that I'm not utilizing the synergy with them to the bridge. I think they need to change that, because if you're going to make a crew, so you've got the Enterprise crew, you've got the Shakedown crew, you got Nero's crew, you've got the Kill crew, the Klingons. So you've got all these crews, and they're a set of crew members that are supposed to work together. Well, in reality, the maximum that they're going to work together is just the 2 on the bridge, outside of the health and the attack feature of what their level is currently. So I think that really should be something. If you hear full synergy, my idea of full synergy literally is the bridge crew, below deck crew, and that synergy together really should be something. So I think they need to change it. If they have to balance.
Well, I think that would go to one I don't have actually on this list, but I'll bring it up anyway. Mm-hmm. And that is, the different types of ships should have different numbers of officers above decks versus below decks. Because nothing drives me crazier than the fact that the Jellyfish was piloted by one person.
Yes.
And now it's going to have 3 above decks, plus, my fully loaded Jellyfish requires 7 or 8 crew members to staff the Jellyfish.
Right, and I think we actually talked about this in a prior episode. How in the hell can you fit 7 people in a damn Jellyfish? You can't. Hell, Spock and Bones barely had enough room to put in there without farting when the other one's smelling it. I'm sorry. That Jellyfish is too damn small. If it literally can only house 2 people, so be it. Let it only house 2 people. If it's a freaking Enterprise, I promise you, there's more people on the deck than there are below deck, or on the bridge than there are below deck. I agree with you. I think all of these commanders and these crews, if they've got an Enterprise, then you need to have 6 or 7 on the bridge. Right. And then you have your below deck crew and actually fix it. So that way, Kirk's in the captain's chair, Spock's your number 1, you put Uhura on the bridge, and then you have Scotty below decks because that's where Scotty works best. He's below decks. That's what he does. You got Sulu. He's sitting there at the helm. You know, you've got everybody that's actually part of the Enterprise crew, but you can't put them in their respective places because they only want 3 people on the bridge. Which I'm with you. If you've got a big bridge, you put your crew on the bridge that belongs on the bridge. And also, if you put your Enterprise crew properly where they belong, as far as on the bridge and below decks, I think that would be something that would be, if you can, you get your best synergy that way. If you put them where they're strongest at, Scotty, he's an engineer, put him below deck.
Right. Nope, I agree.
Yeah, so, you do find Bones running around between the bridge and the below decks too. So I don't know how that one works out.
Yeah, he'd probably end up below decks, but still, there's room for them to play with it. I know they did it for simplicity of the mechanics and the math and things like that. But
now that we've got the bugs worked out and we've played the game long enough, I think we can expand the bridge crew. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge. Hope you're listening. Panic.
Next up, dry dock revisions. Allow the dry docks to do simultaneous repairs while the shipyard is limited to building a ship or tiering a ship. So basically using it like it's designed. This would ensure that turnaround times for players is shorter while still forcing them to decide between new ships and upgrades to ships. So like if you're going to tier up your Horizon, for example, rather than it taking one of your docks, it has to go into the shipyard to get tiered. Can't use it, can't do anything. And that allows you to keep using the rest of your docks to go do what they're for.
Honestly, I think that's not a bad idea, because you've watched the movies, you've seen the Enterprise in a shipyard. It's offside of the station. It's got its own area that orbits around the station, and it's there.
Yep.
And when you see it, the Enterprise is getting worked on, or the Excelsior, whatever ship is in there is getting worked on. You see it being worked on there. So I honestly think, as far as the dry dock, it should be a place to stow your ship.
Right.
As far as when it's not being used. But if you've got a ship building, honestly, I think that's where it needs to be built. But they also have, when it comes out from underneath the bottom of the station, to look like the Yorktown did. I get that. But really, if you've looked at all the movies, they've all built the ships in a shipyard. I mean, hell, they had a damn shipyard on Earth that looked like a shipyard that's actually out in space. So,
right.
I'm with you. I think they really should do that. Now, if you have to get to a certain level for that to be, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Introduce that at, say level
25,
20, 30. 25, 30, something like that. Yeah. Do it at that level, because then that gives somebody, a reason to move up to that level, so that way they can actually start building ships off-site of there. And then if they have to do massive repairs or complete rebuilds, then they need to go out there, and then you can put another ship in place to help. Now, if you're in a PvP battle, there needs to be a cooldown before you can pull that ship off. Right. So if you pull that ship off and you put it in the shipyard to get repaired, it has to go through a full repair process, and then there's a cooldown before you can bring it back over, whether it be 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, that kind of a cooldown, because you don't want it to be an hour or 2 day cooldown, because if you really need that ship to do your missions, it's going to be kind of difficult. Right. It's one thing to put, it's one thing to put your Kumari, it goes to battle, then you got to pull your Kumari and put it over in the repair. Let it do its repair for the god awful amount of 3 hours time that you have to repair that particular ship. I know. I hear it all the time. Imagine whenever you have 5 hours of the repairs, or you got 7 hours of the repair because you got a completely blown up Enterprise. Whatever, I get it, but I'm just saying, for the level that you're dealing with, it's god awful.
Yeah, my fully loaded my Sally, if it's fully destroyed, is 3 hours 17 minutes to repair.
Right. Like my Kumari, when it meets its demise, it's 3 hours and 3 minutes. Now here's the other thing that kind of been griping me that I know. So we're talking about repairs real quick. Was when I have a completely destroyed ship, it says, 2 hours and 57 minutes, and then it tacks on another 6 minutes. Once you finally click, hey, repair the ship.
Oh,
yeah. So there's definitely something off there. So when I look at it, it's 3 hours and 3 minutes versus 2 hours and 50 some odd minutes. And I get it, while it's 5-6 minutes difference, you can just hit a 5-minute speed up. But if your repair times are what they are, I'm going with the principle of it. If you say it's going to take X to repair it, then that's really what it should take.
Right. Okay, next up, officer tools. And this doesn't affect the general populace as much, but it does for those of us that are officers in alliances. So currently, if you're an admiral and something's going on in your alliance, you go to your alliance panel, and it's literally the same as everybody else's. The only difference is you have the option to profile, chat, make leader, demote, promote, or kick somebody. If you're a Commodore, you've got most of those same things, but you can't make them the leader. We need some other tools. Come on now.
Yeah. Also, and it's something else that we talked about as far as the like the rest of the tools as far as officer tools.
Right.
We had talked about say for instance, you have a kind of dead at the helm admiral that is not really doing anything. They've gone on hiatus or whatever. If they haven't been active for 60 days, then you can oust them. I'm sorry, it doesn't work that way. There really needs to be, and I say, say they're gone for 60 days, or we'll just say, for instance, you have to do a mutiny, and you've got an admiral that needs to be removed out of the chair, and they're not there, they're gone or what have you, or they're just a terrible admiral. There needs to be a way for a voting system that a top Commodore position should be opened up. That top Commodore can say, all right, well, I propose this vote to oust this admiral out of the chair. And you need to have a majority vote to make it happen. And it should be instantaneous versus waiting 60 days of no activity to be able to oust an admiral. My 2 cents.
Right now, you have to submit a ticket, and they gotta pass their 60 days, and Scopely has to take action, and it's a really involved process. So that's definitely an area that can be improved.
And if you
the tools could be a whole lot simpler, though. What were you saying?
Well, and if you think about it, if you do have one of those admirals that is killing the game, so to speak, and not in a good way, they're killing an alliance off, or you've got people that's like, hey, I'm not going to hang around for this. You have to remember, there are people that have spent resources in Latinum to build up an alliance. It's like, hey, listen, I've made my contributions to this alliance. I don't want to have to leave my alliance and go somewhere else or start another alliance and lose everything that I put in.
Right.
So, they talk about survivability of the game. If you, or even worse, you have a player just says, piss on it, I'm out. I'm not going to hang around here and play this game anymore because every time I go to another alliance, some bullcrap happens. Well, you have 2 options. You can either start your own alliance or you move to another alliance. Either way, you still lose the resources that you put in. So versus break up an alliance and cause a rift with amongst the alliance members, make it easy so that way if you got a leadership issue as far as the top chair, make sure that the alliance has a voice, because in reality, and this isn't a kick against you, Admiral, but say for instance you just went complete off the rails on something.
Right.
And me and Ake and Spike and Smith and everybody in the alliance are like, what the fuck is his problem? Why is he doing this? All right, let's give it a chance. And then the chance has been given. It's like, hey, boss, you can't do this anymore. You're going to run people off. And if you still continue your ways, we should have a voice to say, hey, we're not going to stand for this. We're not breaking up the family or the alliance to appease you. So you have two options. You can either step down or we're going to force you out of your chair. And so I think in reality, the alliance has no voice, and the way that it's set up, it makes it difficult. And unfortunately, there are alliances that are out there that have been mothballed.
Right. Too many of them, in fact. I mean, members of the alliance need to have the ability to voice their opinion. And right now, we're all using Discord to get that done, but that can be in the game.
Yeah, and like I said, we're not throwing a dig at anybody. We're not busting on any admirals. It's just there are times where you have one of those admirals and the thing is, though, a lot of the admirals that a lot of people have had problems with, they're either not playing the game anymore, or they've separated from the alliance that they're in. And like I said, it's not a dig at anybody. It's not anything negative that we're wanting to shed light on. It's just, if there's a possibility that you do have one of those piece of crap players that doesn't want to govern the alliance fairly, then you've got an issue. So if you got one part of the alliance that's like, hey, we don't really like how we're getting treated about this, we need a little bit more freedom with this or whatever, versus take the risk of getting kicked out, that admiral really should be moved aside. And and then once the next in line, which I would say change it to the top commander, put them in the admiral's trail and let it go. So like I said, just I feel like unfortunately there are times where the alliance doesn't have a voice. And I'm not saying that this is our alliance. I'm just saying any alliance for that matter. You got somebody that's up there that really needs to be moved out. They should have the availability to do so.
Correct. Some other tools that'd be helpful is a simple green dot to show who's online.
Yes.
On the list. Let us see who's there. If you want to expand on it, give us when were they last online. That way we can see who's inactive now. We've got a number of players on our server that have not been on in a while in the alliance. Some that we know are going to be in and out. Others that have just kind of quietly stopped playing. And it'd be nice to be able to look at the list and go, okay, this person hasn't been on in a month and a half. Right now, we've got a spreadsheet that we're keeping up with for each one of the alliances, and it shows power. And we have to manually calculate that every day every week after the server reboot, so that we can get the latest stats for each player. And God forbid you should do something like have all your miners out, because it's often I'll do that and it'll look like I'm going down in power when it's just a matter of the ship loadout that I have at the time when they do the power assessment.
Right. So, now, and to kind of add to that, there is, when you look at your alliance screen and you go down to the players list, sometimes you'll see like a green bar or whatever that highlights to people. That is their supposed, hey, these are online, they're active at this current time indicator. It hasn't worked very well.
Yeah, it currently only counts the it's a spacing lever. I want to say it's every 10 or 15 is what that goes to now. So it's not working right. It just needs to be fixed.
Yes.
Fix it, please.
Please, because I would love to know who's been last active. Now, I actually have seen, again, games that I've played in the past. You can say, oh, they were last active here. Well, hell, for that matter, I can go to my PlayStation. I can look at my PlayStation Network and I can see how long ago one of my friends was active. I've seen it 2 hours ago, 5 minutes ago, 3 days ago, 2 months ago, over a year. And at that point in time, you can know whether they're still playing or not. And then here's the other side of that coin. Yes, you may have somebody that's been inactive for 2-3 weeks. Please, for the love of God, let your commanders, let your commodores, let your admirals know if you're going to be inactive. Hey, I'm going to be inactive. So please don't boot me. I'm just taking some time out to do some other things. I'll be gone for X amount of weeks. Or, hey, I'm going on vacation for the next week, 2 weeks. Just a friendly heads up. Or there should be a switch. Well, I don't know. The problem is if you go putting a switch in there saying, "Hey, I'm going to be on vacation for this period of time. Don't boot me." Kind of little flag is saying, "Hey, I'm still active. Just don't boot me." Folks can take advantage of that and go, "Oh yeah, well I'm done, but I'm going to keep my place in here. Decide best I ever decide to come back." So there's a balance there that you got to be careful. So there's got to be some sort of indicator that, hey, they're active or they're not, or this is the last time they were on. Obviously, we can see some activity by every time that we increase level as an alliance. So we go from 20 to 21. Everybody's got some sort of donation that shows up that they've donated, just more of an activity check, but also to help build the alliance. So there's got to be something. So please, Scopely, for the love of everything Star Trek, fix it.
Well, we've got a couple others that were added from ZeroCool, one of the other content creators to this list. That was the ability to get messages outside the game that do not need external tools. So being able to at somebody in the chat and give a push message. We fixed the push message. We know that it works. Thank you, Armadas. Because we know every time the alliance is an armada and what the status of it is. So give us that function.
Yes.
I need the ability to tell somebody, hey, your base is getting hit.
Now I have seen here lately, I've had issues with getting alerts on the game. There are times where it'll say, hey, an armada started, and I go in and I'm getting spammed by the umpteen freaking armadas that got started, and I only got the notification for one. There's something buggy. Please fix that, because I have had times where my base got hit. And it's like, oh, well, I didn't know that happened. I just happened to log in like, well, son of a bitch. There's 3 minutes left on my automatic bubble. I got dead ships. What the hell just happened here? Oh, I got hit. So, it has worked. You've been attacked, or your station's been attacked. Please set a bubble or whatever. I get those alerts. I just don't get them every time something like that's happened. I have had times where my base got raided and I had zero idea that I got hit until after I went in and went, nope, living a bubble-free life this week. So yeah, we definitely need to work on the alerts and finish tweaking that. But yes, so we definitely need to be able to at somebody and go, hey, guess what? Your shit's getting raided.
Now, it'd also be nice to be able to set markers on the other alliances so you can give them kind of a friendly status, war status.
Yeah, that would actually be cool. I never thought about that.
That would be a sweet function. The ability to put a pinned message at the top of the alliance chat, so everybody kind of knows, hey, we're going to have a Discord voice call this Saturday at 6:00 Central. The last officer tool that I'd really, really appreciate, because it's a daily occurrence, and that's the ability to scan our own alliance members and know whether or not we need to keep defending their bases. Right now, we're having to ask our sister alliances to scan the member that's been hit to see how much they have left, or whether or not we need to just let them be. So that would be very nice if we could see what our members still have. And it's on a side note there, I wish there was like an Admirals shield that we could put on in addition to the 10-minute, where you just go defend for 5 minutes and it puts up an additional shield because we got an alert that they were being hit. But I know that's not going to happen. It's just a wish.
Right, yeah, that is a wish. Because there really is nothing more irritating than pulling miners in, or stop doing whatever it is that you're doing, the travel back to your base, and then you zip out to where you need to be, and you get, oh, they've already been drained, never mind. Really? Because again, it's not that we don't want to defend our bases. That's not the case. So, family, please don't let it sound like we don't care. It's because we do care. But we need to have some way to be able to look at what you truly have in your resources to know if we need to defend you or not. Also, it would be nice to be able to scan our miners, so that way we can see if your miner's getting overprotected, so we can kind of say, hey, your miner looks a little heavy, you might want to bring her back in.
Mm-hmm. That would be so helpful. So the last one on here is a direct link for Admirals and Commodores to be able to go straight to a member's base. So right now you still have to do the universe view and then find all the purple people and work your way in to find that individual's base, where as an officer we should be able to know exactly where they're located, and that way we can let people know, okay, well, Shoddy's getting hit.
That's all right, because I fixed somebody's ass the other day. They decided to hit my base, and they thought it was funny. So I said, okay, well, you want to play like that? I did a nice little base defense. Popped 2 Sallys. I'm not going to name names, but you know who you are, especially if you're listening to this. And he had sent me a funny little message. He said, "Good one, you got me." I'm like, "Yeah, buddy." The thumbs up at him, and we carried on with what I had going on. And I sat there unshielded to see if anybody else wanted to come play. And then all of a sudden, he bubbled up, and he sat there for a little while, rethinking his decision to hit that base. But it was a good time. It was a solid hit. My hat's off to you, sir. I just wish you would have played a little bit longer, because that would have been funny. Because I'm started thinking, well, how many ships we're going to put in the scrapyard today. So,
well, when we get to hit of the week, we'll talk about my fun today with SLR1 from the DEHA. That was too entertaining.
Well, mine was the defense of the week. Their level was, I think they were like 32, 33, and they had a 600 and some change K Sally that smacked my base. It broke a ship, and it wrecked a couple guns, but I repaired those guns and let him. I repaired the guns. I let him come back, and he didn't want to come back after that. Are
you saying you took a page out of Johnny's playbook from last episode?
No. Why would I do a silly thing like that?
All right. Next on the super wish list, this is a super wish list, is a companion app. So prior to getting addicted to Star Trek Fleet Command, I was a World of Tanks Blitz player, and they introduced their companion app, and it was basically
no free ads. No free ads.
Well, is what it is. Is what it is. So with this app, you could go in and you could compare your equipment that you had. So you log in with your credentials for the game. It even had its own RNG in it, so it would verify from your game app to what you were logging into that it was truly you. And so you get in there, you could see all of your tanks in that situation. You could see the research that you've done. You can see the upgrades that you made to your equipment, and that compared to base. So if we had something like that within Star Trek Fleet Command, I think that would be awesome, because you could do that with the base, you could do it with the ships, you could do it with the officers, and try different loadouts and see what that looked like.
Oh!
And get a better idea on what you want to improve next based on that companion app. And keep the game from getting too bloated and too many glitches in it.
I thought about, you mentioned loadout, something I want to add to the wish list.
Okay.
There's nothing more irritating, and yes, I said irritating, than setting up a ship and you're over there testing officers out, and then your mix gets messed up, and you're like, oh shit, I just lost 10K power. Where the hell did it go? Who was it that I had right there? You're thinking, well, I think I had this person, this person, this person. There's nothing more irritating. And here's the other side of it. Also, if I have a ship that may not utilize Nero's crew very well, but may utilize the Enterprise crew very well, and I don't have them on a ship, we should have a loadout, so that way we press a button and it automatically drops the crew into their respective spots on the ship.
Yes,
because
that would be wonderful. Absolutely wonderful.
Right. Also, something that irritates me when it comes to ship loadout and personnel loadout is the fact that you have, when you level the ship, it goes, oh, you can add somebody. Well, guess what? They're already added, because the ship that I had in there prior before that I upgraded up to whatever level that maxed out as far as its crew carrying capabilities is already in that loadout. So in reality, if you can't fit the whole crew in there, you should be able to move it out. So it works and it doesn't. It works because we have the availability to have that crew in there. And you just swip the ship around. But if you run into an instance where you need to send out a couple extra miners to do a little bit of extra mining for whatever resources you need, you should be able to say, hey, I want this loadout here. I want this loadout here. Just make it easy. Make it easy.
That'd be nice. That'd be very nice. So the last one that I have on the list is a blessing and a curse. I think it would fix a lot of problems, but I also think it kind of takes some of the inspiration for the combat away. And that is the 0 node return. And I didn't come up with this one. It was on the content creators' recommendations. But basically, any ship that's on a 0 node for more than 10 minutes automatically recalls to base.
Oh.
I think that would fix a mountain of problems.
Yeah, because if you think about it, a lot of alliances have a row, and everybody's like, "Oh my god, row's so terrible." I don't want to hear it. Don't at me with that crap, okay? Rows are great. It keeps the alliances honest. I've said it before prior podcasts, and I'm going to say it again. Everybody has their own row, and believe me, I treat everybody according to their row, not mine. Now, if my row and your row match, then I'll treat you accordingly. If not, I'm going to treat you how yours is. So with that being said, it would save so many BS freaking messages. I got hit at a row. Oh my God, they hit my miner. It was whatever. It just saves trouble. Sit there. If you see it, if it takes you 10 minutes to get there and you get there right when that 10-minute buzzer pops and it warps my ship out, hey, congratulations, you got the node. It would keep people from parking on nodes. It would keep some of these whales from sitting there. Also, you 14s that like to sit on a damn node in G3 space where you have no business being there, but yet you want to sit there and hog up one of the nodes. Well, guess what, Cheech? Just because I can't hit you doesn't mean that there ain't a way to get you out of there. I would rather the system just boot you off your damn node and send you packing back to your ship. Those in the know, look it up. All right. That's the wish list. Again, don't forget our Amazon wish list.
Yes. Is it?
Visit. Help us out.
Got some recommendations. Let us know.
Yes, please. Yeah, throw recommendations. If you know of products that work well, that you're kind of in the know as far as where that goes, please give suggestions. We're down. We'll do our research as well. We're going to add more to the list. Also, and I've been waiting for freaking a week to do this.
It's
giveaway time. So, the powers that be have granted us the ability to hand out some freebies. Now, freebies. Sunday. Okay. Anyways, I love that crap. That's hilarious. Anyways, so what we have here is we have the availability to hand out resources or latinum or what have you. So, but there is a big word for being only 3 letters. You have got to join our Discord. We prefer that you join our Facebook page because we want some more interaction. I know there's some folks that are against having a Facebook page. Me and him talked today. And it's okay, buddy. I still love you. Just because you don't have a Facebook doesn't mean anything negative. So we figured a lot of folks use Discord. And I know for a fact my buddy that we talked to today, he uses Discord. So I want to be able to make sure that everybody has the opportunity to win. We have this stuff. It's great. We just need to hand it out. So the only prerequisite is you have to be part of our Discord page. Ramius is going to add that Discord page information at the bumper. It's also going to be in the show notes on YouTube. So all you have to do is click on the link. It automatically fires up your Discord to our page. Worst case scenario, if it doesn't automatically fire it up to the page, copy and paste that bad baby in your Discord. Join in, and in the transporter room, I believe that's what we've called it.
Yes. Transporter room.
Yeah, so you'll join in the transporter room. That's going to be our central milling section where everybody's at. You'll type in a specific information, tells you who you're from, what have you. brings you over into the proper location so you can see all the cool stuff we got going on. And then we'll have an area for the contests. So, with that being said, there's already a channel. We are going to find something from one of our previous episodes. So, what that means is you're going to have to listen to the episodes. It may not... If you've already listened to it, you've got an advantage on somebody that may be starting out. So with this being said, we're going to set a precedence here coming forth. We're going to do prior episode information. We're going to do random number generation. We're going to do a whole different list of things. We might do a live on Facebook. If you're part of our Facebook family, please join us and get some conversation going. So with that being said, this week, the contest for tonight, we're going to do a couple more contests through the week as far as giveaways. We want to try to do 2 to 3 every week, maybe more. But for as far as this episode's contest, you guys need to look up and listen to Ladies' Night. We're going to pull a topic or a phrase or maybe a name out of that interview with the ladies that we had. You have to tell us what that is. And the first person to come up with the correct answer and post it in the chat area for the contest wins. What do you win? I'm thinking 100 of each of the UC ores, crystals, and gas. 100 each. That is 300 total uncommon materials. For some, it's going to go a long way. For others, it's probably going to get right what you need. And for some, it may just be a drop in the bucket. But it's something that we want to do for you guys because you guys have stuck it out with us. Hell, you guys almost hit 500 views on YouTube with Johnny's interview. Thank you so much. Again, Johnny, brother, thank you so much for coming on and chatting with us. You have been awesome with that episode, and thank you so much. But again, we've got another episode where we talked about some other things, and that got us a lot of views on that one as well. So we want to help you guys give a little something back and everything. So the question, that's a rough one, buddy. The problem that I have with that is the correct answer is going to hit it right off the money.
Well, that party can't win this time. They can participate next time.
Okay. I can't single you out, but you're going to know who I'm talking to. Just know that we love you dearly. We really, really do. But the question is, who stole Shotty's plant? You've got... Holy shit. Damn it, man. All right, yeah. Who stole my plant off of my base? Unfortunately, the individual that stole my plant, it's unfair for you to win this because you're the target. But know that we love you, and we will try to we will make it up to you. Some way, somehow, we'll make it up to you. So the person that comes up with the right answer of who stole Shotty's plant from Ladies' Night, make sure that you put make sure that you type in the name into the comment section. The first one that gets the right answer wins 100 UC gas, 100 UC crystal, and 100 UC ore. So good luck, and hope you win. Hope to see a whole lot of interaction, but you've got to join Discord. You got to get in there, make sure you're settled in, and make sure you answer it. So listen to Ladies' Night to get your answer. All right. Well, with that being said, that's the show.
Sounds good.
So
I need to do a quick hat tip, though.
okay.
Quick hat tip / pick on just a little bit.
Okay.
So, good buddy, SLR1, DDHH. So over the last couple days, we've had some back and forth with the DDHH folks. The Alliance has changed their position again and gone with a no-row stance, and that's fine. We opted to treat them with the same regard, so we don't give them any warnings on nodes, anything like that. And so today I took out 2 ships from SLR1 and started a wonderful, I mean, I was giggling for an hour straight, back and forth over 2 Latinum nodes, just back and forth. And I was poking at him like, come on, let's play. Took out 2 of his ships, had some back and forth, realted his base. I mean, if I wanted to crack his base, I'd have cracked his base. I hit him with a Rialta. It finally came down to us being down to 1 node left. Somebody swiped one of the other nodes as we were going back and forth between our ships. And I'm defending the 1 node, just giggling my butt off. And he relocated his base within the system, popped my ship, and then went back in the base and popped the bomb. I couldn't help but laugh. I started laughing my butt off. And I told him, I said, all right, good on you. I said, for you to spend a reload token for the sake of a node, that's you can have it back. I'll cry uncle on that one. That's just a freaking fun.
That's hilarious.
Well, I mean, all that goodwill. His buddies were coming in trying to hit me too. 2 of them did hit me. One of them took out my Saladin. Went back and forth with some of them. It was a good time. Unfortunately, it seems like he took it a little bit further because he relocated another 3 times to hit that same node after I offered it back to him for free. Like, here you go. Come get it. And he won't say anything to me in private message. So, hey, good on you. You earned a hat tip, and then you forgot to let go of it. It's a game. You need to enjoy it. And thanks for having a good time. Thanks for playing the game with me. It was fun. Thank you.
Awesome.
So, that's my 2 cents.
Good deal. All right, guys. Need to know who it was who stole my plant. So that's it.
All right.
We're out of here. I think I'm hearing the warp engine start to get a little warm back here. So Scotty's warming them up. All right. Y'all take it easy. Live long. Kick ass.
Fly safe.
See ya.
Remember to follow us on our social media channels, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. We can be found on iTunes, Podbeam, Patreon, and here on YouTube. Comment below, click like if you do, and subscribe because you should have already. Do not forget to click the bell to get the alert when the next episode is available.